Okay. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Today, November the 26th. Thank you. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Yeah, midweek broadcast. What a day. What a day. I mean, I'm still celebrating the release of the KEBBI, kidnapped student. And also happy that at least we're getting somewhere. Hopefully, I don't know, but hopefully we're getting somewhere with respect to the plans to solve the insecurity situation in the country. And I wish that the presidency gives it all it can, because the news that we hear with respect to the infrastructure and the formation of the forces of Nigeria and everything surrounding it is not good. There is no synchronized, intelligence formation that would prevent a lot of some of these issues that are happening. I'm going to just go through one of the hearings that happened in the House of Representatives, I believe, of someone talking about the Zamfara police situation, how they are not equipped to fight terrorism. And I'm going to start with this. I'm going to react to it. The Commissioner of Police told me they have no vehicle to fight insecurity. Honorable Maki, the Commissioner of Police in a state that has been facing insecurity challenges does not have the necessary tools to fight insecurity. And we're surprised that insecurity is becoming a widespread cancer in a lot of these northern states in Nigeria. What does this even mean? Let me listen to this guy.
Was calling me that they need vehicles. Even we are short of vehicles. The IG cannot do anything because there is no any fund. Even their own overhead, sir. Today we are in November. They only receive up to July. So please and please, Mr. Speaker, leadership, honorable colleagues, we need to put head together and see that there is more funding, particularly in Nigerian police. Maki Eleman, I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamuduri Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I stand to speak as a chairman of police affairs. And I'm trying to see that I speak within my scope of jurisdiction. First and foremost, I must commend you, Mr. Speaker, and past speakers, particularly the Deputy Speaker, who touched almost the aspect of what I was supposed to speak. Mr. Speaker, today we hold a special plenary session on national security at a time we confront a hydra-headed security challenges across the entire theater of our national life. Mr. Speaker, today we are confronted with hereditary kidnapping, terrorism, armed robbery, and other security challenges. Their challenges are prevalent in most operational theaters of our society in operation. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, in the entire Northeast, Northwest, North Central, Southeast, and part of the Southwest and South-South, with this security instance become almost daily events. As the chairman of police affairs, I'm fully aware challenges facing the Nigerian police force. In its statutory role of internal policing, the country has the least police destination in the whole world. The Nigerian police is currently overstretched, underfunded, underarmed, and underpaid. This is coupled with the other institutional challenges also confronted by the Nigerian police, policing a nation as big as Nigeria with its population it is not a small job. I know that efforts have been made by the police under the current leadership of the Inspector General of Police. I have a personal contact with him. I see how he's struggling to see that at least he corrects some menace in the police formation and command. Mr. Speaker, for us to improve the Nigerian police, it has to start with the recruitment policy. Mr. Speaker, we have to ensure the fit and interested person are transparent, recruited after the background due process to see that we recruit eligible personnel to the system. Mr. Speaker, also we have to have a rampant renovation of our training institution nationwide. My honorable colleagues, I want to use this opportunity also to see that there is need for improving the more funding for resource orientation activities of the police through the strengthening of the various intelligence gathering unit, recruiting more hands, provision of quality state and equipping provision of adequate arms and ammunition. Improving the response.
Congratulations, you have been
human
promoted
capacity
to my
development
seat here.
in terms of training and retraining, improving the welfare.
I don't understand how these people cannot even have simple decorum. This guy is talking about insecurity situation. They don't even care. Look at them. Look at them. And this is not even a comprehensive hearing that you expect to happen. Because I've not seen them call in various individuals, people that have been to the field, past and retired security agencies, on solving the problem, writing of bills, reading of bills, and passing of bills that would help solve the security situation in the country. The speaker or whoever is presiding over the house keeps distracting the person talking. And it's just a mess.
Come and sit down here. No.
Can you see that?
Come and sit here.
I don't even understand this whole issue of sitting. I mean, it was the whole sitting issue that triggered or started in Natasha and Akpabio saga. The whole nation is going to run. Like, they can't even allow this guy to talk. And it's pissing me off. He's talking about the situation of the police force in Zamfara State. How the commissioner of police is helpless while facing great challenge of insecurity.
Colleagues, in summary, there is need for more funding in police formation and command. Mr. Speaker, I want to use this opportunity to draw the attention of my honorable colleagues, particularly the chairman appropriation, chairman finance, and the leadership of this holy chamber, to see that they facilitated in making sure that police funds are being released immediately, sir. Because you can see how they are struggling. Even recently, the commissioner of police in Zamfara was calling me that they need vehicles. Even we are short of vehicles. The IG cannot do anything because there is no any fund. Even their own overhead, sir. Today we are in November. They only receive up to July. So please and please.
The guy is not interested. He's not interested. Clearly, he's not interested in whatever it has to talk about with respect to security. And this is what we're facing. Meanwhile, the appropriation bill for the National Assembly, you could see how they spend so much money. 465 SUV bulletproof cars procured in 2023. Each member had a car allowance of 85 million. 40 billion naira is the allocated phased rollout. That's the National Assembly for you. The 10th Assembly, 40 billion. But the police people, or the police force in Zamfara State, is messed up because they're not even releasing money to them. And we want them to fight insecurity. And the speaker is not, or whoever is presiding over the house is not even interested. Yeah, I mean, okay, just round up. You have 1 minute more. Okay, we understand what you're talking about, but let's move on.
Mr. Speaker, leadership, honorable colleagues, we need to put head together and see that there is more funding, particularly in Nigerian police, because all what we are discussing of internal security, and internal security is the responsibility of Nigerian police. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity, and thank you, my honorable colleague.
Thank you.
Representing Dus Amakurvi Federal Constituency. I'm from Kaduna State. For now, I'm the Chairman House Committee on Army. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, permit me to sincerely thank the House for graciously convening this special plenary session on national security in service of our people and integrity of our republic. Today, we gather not only to interrogate the realities of our enduring security challenge, but also to reaffirm our shared commitment to the stable and prosperous Nigeria, where citizens live free from the anxieties of violence and insecurity. Mr. Speaker, sir, the landscape before us remains complex, evolving, and deeply consequential. From the ravaged cities of Northeast, where insurgency once made daily a theater of terror, especially through the suicide bombings, to the criminal onslaught, banditry, and kidnapping in the north.
Honorable Kuye, please help us to disband that.
And sectional clashes.
Wow, that's interesting.
In the
Mini
north
conference.
Separatist violence in the southeast, and persistent oil theft and sabotage in the south. The trials have been relentless. Yet, in facing these storms, our army has stood firm, recalibrating its strategies, modernizing its tactics, and leading to multi-theater operation across every region. Mr. Speaker, we must acknowledge the profound respect.
If this whole hearing is as confused as the Nigerian state. This whole thing is as confused as the Nigerian state.
The monumental achievement of our forces at the forefront of our counterinsurgency, the dark era when suicide bombing ravaged our cities with miserable regularity has given way to new hope and security in many communities. Boko Haram and ISWAF no longer dictate the force of fear in some cities like Maiduguri, Yola, and the culmination of some territories has enabled displaced families to return home. Some schools and markets are open, and the flag of Nigeria to fly as a symbol of resilience. Mr. Speaker, these gains has come through remarkable sacrifice, innovation, and adaptability by joint missions, integrating intelligence and special forces, deployment of rapid response and mobile units.
Again, I just have to move on. The whole thing is unwatchable, and that's it. And this is the #1 issue facing Nigeria today. But the whole thing, the whole planning session, like you can't even get inside. The guy is reading from a book. Clearly, it was written for him. I mean, what else? What else can I say? It was written for him. And that's the reality, facing us when you have leaders that are not even interested. But there's this, I don't know if it's a documentary, The Hidden Story of Atiku, Obasanjo, MKO Abiola, and the Betrayer. I might just spend some of my time to watch this. But before I want to watch that, let me see. Kenneth Okonkwo is also going after the PDP.
say PDP is dead.
Yeah, we all know that.
And people thought I was playing politics. No.
Yeah, your guy
When the
killed
national
it.
chairman and national secretary are two different words serving different purposes, how do you think they can be reconciled? Now, PDP is going to go into war. One would defeat the other. And in politics, even if you defeat your opponent, you will still come out worse for it. Because you need everybody. Now, PDP is dead because how can they choose as secretary a man who comes from a faction that say they have endorsed another person to be president of Nigeria in 2027? How? So it is dead. It is going to be...
There is nothing that, that gives me some satisfaction to see that PDP has gone under. Not because I necessarily like APC, but because of what they've done to Nigeria. Same with APC, so whatever PDP is suffering today is the making of their own greed, making of their own corruption, making of their own lack of leadership, and making of their own wickedness. So yeah, it's well deserved. I'm happy that the PDP is under. Oh, one party state, you guys want... No, I don't want one party state. Well, PDP was at the position where they were clearly a one party state party. So it's over for PDP, but we'll see what will happen. And I know there are talks to revive the whole thing, but even at that, even at its dying state, it's still not really ready to be helped.
Irreconcilable. So one faction is going to defeat the other.
Yeah.
And even if it ends in winner-loser, it will still be a bad thing for the party. So they are hemorrhaging. And there is no rebuilding. Because a party is like a company in a stock exchange.
Okay.
When there is bad news against the party, people will not go to buy their shares. Because nobody would put his destiny in a ship that is piloted by drunkards and madmen. What they displayed in Wadata Plaza is the exhibition of madness and drunkenness. People who drink akpateshi by 5 a.m. and they will come and use their car. Governors, ministers, to use their car and their thugs to be blocking their ways and fighting. Such party, do you think any reasonable person will want to be part of it? Wike has told you, he has endorsed TINUBU 2027. So what were you expecting? Again. Is it that you agree with him or the party will be destroyed? So the whole idea is to make PDP not viable for 2027 so that TINUBU will come back or they destroy PDP.
It's not only not making PDP not viable. It's about all the political parties are not viable. ADC is not. ADC, the article just joined yesterday for an election that is going to happen in the next few months. Say 15 months plus, right? Where's Peter Obi? Where is Peter Obi? Where is he with respect to stuff? We've seen the showing of LP in elections after 2023 has been woeful. The last one being Anambra State was even a disaster. So where is Peter Obi? What is he doing? Peter Obi likes to be in the camera and all over the place. But the real work is really putting your head down and building a force or building a structure that will outclass and outshine all of the parties. That's the work of a political party strategist. And if you've not been able to build your party to that stage, then I think that you're just happy with whatever it is that you're doing right now and whatever acknowledgement or whatever thing you have. And you have to understand that it's just for a while. You need to build stuff. And I've not seen that in any of the opposition political party. And that's why APC is just running with the ticket and with the 2027 ticket and with the presidency. And I still don't see any party that can stop it as we speak today. Something might change tomorrow. Maybe new alliances work out. I don't know. But that's what it is.
I said it the other time. when they were shouting, zone to the south, zone to the south. I said, with respect to PDP, I said, PDP, you don't have sense. These people that are telling you zone to south, is zone to TINUBU they mean. And they thought I was joking. But we had come out to say, look, if you don't zone this thing to TINUBU, it is fight to finish. He said PDP should not even produce a candidate, presidential candidate. So what else is left? So it is shameful. What they are doing now is what they would have done in 2023 in Igbo land. They say when an aberration or an abomination lasts more than 1 year, it will become a culture.
Mm-hmm.
So the abomination and aberration in PDP now has become their culture. So who would want...
It's not even 1 year. The aberration and the problem in PDP had been since, I would say, as far back as more than 10, 15 years. Except you can count 1 or 2 governors that really did well. Most of all these PDP guys were as useless as it comes. Go to their states. They are now in the Senate. They are now in APC, for the most part. Yeah, some people still believe in PDP. I mean, they say PDP is that party that is kind of neutral. It brings the whole country together. Anyways, but insecurity grew under PDP. And it was maintained also by APC. So they are both responsible for the insecurity situation that we have in the country right now as we speak.
To become a member of a party that has a culture of impunity, a culture of national chairman will sack national secretary, national secretary will sack national chairman, governors will sack minister, minister will sack governor. I mean, it is outrageous. It's so belittling. It is infradignitatem.
Okay.
And cannot be accommodated by any responsible, reasonable person. So PDP is there.
Is that? Yeah, I mean, something might change, you know, so that's coming. Something might change. We don't know. Meanwhile, talking about Peter Obi, I made a reference to that. Okay. Yesterday, I was in France. Peter Obi is enjoying the moment. I know it comes out to tell everybody how so much sacrifice is making for Nigeria. I mean, bro, you're everywhere. You're in the United States. It's a win-win situation for you. I don't see any downside to this. Many politicians will pray to be in your shoes. But this is my question to Peter Obi and to his followers at large. Your mobilization director resigned last week, a few days ago, and he laid out certain things that I can say is kind of the dysfunctional within the obedient movement and the Labour Party. As of today, I haven't seen any concrete plan, and it's a matter of, oh, don't reveal your strategy. Bro, there's no strategy. There is no strategy. The major strategy is Obi appearing everywhere, which is fine. I'm not against him appearing everywhere, but I'm not seeing the work that he needs to do to make his political, I would say, capital strong and his structure strong. Most people have given up in the obedient movement. There's still a few that are living in delusion, thinking that 2023 is going to repeat itself in 2027. It means you've not learned. It means you don't know who you're dealing with. Because right now, the APC has captured the whole political structure of the country. And he has given over Twitter, or X, over to Peter Obi and his followers. That's the sad state of opposition in Nigeria today. While there, I spent the day holding a series of constructive meetings with several members of various committees from the Committee on Foreign Affairs. Dude, you are not the president. I understand you need to go there to learn, but you're always everywhere. And the APC is so smart because those guys are also politicians. They allow him to, you know what, enjoy the moment. Just enjoy the moment. Okay? I've always said it, and I will repeat it again today, that Peter Obi has been one of the best gifts to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If not for him, we might have had an article / maybe Peter Obi or somebody else in Aso Rock today. I appeal to them to strengthen their relationship with Africa. No, he's now talking as a Pan-African person, especially Nigeria, which stands as a key frontier for global development. Africa, and as I reiterated, is a continent of immense potential, the second largest size and population, richly endowed with natural resources and all of those yari. I also underscore the need to invest in and support Nigerians' youth who have an immense desire and drive for entrepreneurship and productivity. If well supported, but are now facing despair due to limited opportunities, Africa, indeed Nigeria, can and must work for all and contribute to global development. In New Nigeria is P.O. Sibo. P.O. Again, this is it. Okay, this is it. He loves this. I mean, he really loves this. With a C now, with a take, making allow OBB, make mobilization share resires for OB. The movement not having any strategy allow him be. He already said he's not desperate to be a president. Okay, maybe he's not, but he's gonna be running, right? Maybe he's not. Who is this idiot? Keep P.O.'s name out of your smelly mouth. Brainless. Thank you. That was very nice. Again, I'm saying, except you don't want to play in the game. If you want to play in the game, then you have to know what it takes. And as him being a shadow presidency, as long as, everybody's fine with it, it's fine. But I'm saying that if you don't want to start having the results that you guys had in Anambra State, and in Edo State, and in other by-elections, then you better not deceive the people that are always ready to sing your praise and do the real work where it's needed. And this is not me saying that. This is one of your ex-obedient members saying that. Not me. I'm not obedient. I was never. I would never be. Okay? I'm just putting it out there. At least Atiku, this is one of your ex-obedient members. This is not me. Okay? Ex-obedient. One of the fighters for Obi during the 2023 elections. At least Atiku Abubakar is focused on reorganizing his support base. Hi, today, welcome to the show. Ahead of 2027, even though I'm saying that is even late, and I don't even know how, that in itself would help his situation. Because right now, it's more like you are building from ground zero. But Peter Obi is busy moving from country to country, trying to instigate foreign pressure that could lead to an invasion. I'm not so sure about that. I wouldn't say it's leading any foreign pressure. I mean, as alluded to by Reno, I'm not sure that's what he's doing. I just think he's enjoying the moment. And they've said I should take my smelly mouth out of his name out of my smelly mouth. It is what it is. I'm just saying. Thanks today. We have seen this script before. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Yeah. I'm talking about the security situation. I want to actually talk about this. It's a 1 hour kind of a documentary. I'm not a fan of Atiku. I believe that, he was 79 yesterday. So by the time the guy is done with his presidency, if he wins in 2027, it's going to be like 84. 84. Somebody said, on the live a few days ago that, those in charge of Nigeria, they've been in the scene since 1960. And I couldn't agree more. They've been in the scene since 1960. Atiku is not giving up. Atiku believes that, he has the right to be the president because that was the agreement they had. They had a shadow agreement. When Obasanjo was coming in 1999, we're going to take you out of prison. We need to take out Abiola because they feared Abiola, right? For whatever reason they had with him. So we're going to take Abiola out. You're going to be the president. But when you're done, you must hand it over to a northerner. And Atiku believed because he helped start PDP, he was also instrumental in the ascension of APC. Went back to PDP. Now he's now in ADC. So when you talk about betrayals, he can tell you something about it. But again, let me see if I can actually look at this. And then once I'm done with this, I want to go take a deeper look. Aso Rock is old people's home. I agree. Aso Rock is old people's home, but again, the National Assembly is even worse. That one is a long-term care. It's a retirement home for all these politicians. When they destroy their state, most of them then move over to the National Assembly to destroy the nation. Because right now with the security situation, I've not seen anything working. I'm going to go back and then talk about what has been happening. And again, I was asking, I just made a discovery yesterday. I was asking Grox, the XAI tool, to tell me about what's up with the northern states, the mineral resources, and why we have so much insecurity. And what actually I got from it was really, really, really mind-boggling. But without further ado, let's talk about Atiku.
I look forward to a united, strong, and prosperous Nigeria that will definitely play a leading role in Africa, continental role, and also in world affairs.
Focused, dedicated, decisive, yet mystified in humility.
Okay.
His hometown Jada was relatively unknown in 1946 when he was born, but today the story is told differently. Progressive 1946 reference is made to Jada because Atiku Abubakar has attained outstanding success in his private and public ventures. Atiku Abubakar is undoubtedly a Democrat, a Nigerian nationalist and politician from the Fulani ethnic stock, whose philanthropic...
he's also Fulani. Yeah, they're in charge. Let nobody deceive you. They're in charge.
Gestures have benefited many, irrespective of their tribal or religious background.
Wow.
Unlike many of his peers, he has maintained cordial relationships with Nigerians from all walks of life. He remains in harmony with his surroundings and at peace with his creator.
One thing you can look at with respect to Atiku Abubakar is that, again, one thing, and that's one thing that his supporters always have. I know there are corruption allegations, the fight between Obasanjo and all of that, but his supporters have always said that he's one of those politicians that brings everybody together. And I cannot deny that. I cannot fault that. I'm not his fan, but again, when I see it, because I'm always like, PDP has done Nigeria bad. But his supporters are always like, this guy is this thing, is a big umbrella thing, he maintains, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, well, that's your own point of view.
Adversity in early life taught him to be kind and compassionate. His childhood experience as a manager of his family livestock farm taught him the value of patience. His lonely and deprived childhood developed in him an intense love for people and for a large family. Atiku's 20-year career in the Department of Customs and Excise exposed him to a larger and more complex world.
People have claimed that, there's no way you would have rose in that operations and you'd not be, in one way or the other, getting your hands into so many things. People are also saying that, this guy can't visit the United States of America today because there's a comprehensive report about his corrupt escapades in there. I'm just saying.
Those days in Lagos, when he started, 5 of them used to come then. He used to lead. Younger boy among them.
Who is this? Oh, Igbinedion.
When we do that barak, the house, they always appear in the evenings. I'm very close to Lake Yeriadua.
The Waziri of Adama was friends with our elder brothers and uncles in Borno. in the 70s.
Hi, Dayo.
And
Hi,
our
Femi.
fathers
Welcome to the
were
show.
in business at that time had taken him under their wing, and he used to support them. They were into imports and exports.
Okay.
And he eventually became a household name in Borno State. So all through the service, and when he left service and joined business and established.
Nice moment. His wealth is highly questionable. Yeah, Atiku is my man. Yeah, Atiku has supporters across the whole nation. And these are silent fans. I don't have anything against them. It's just that, unfortunately, there's a lot of question with respect to his wealth. But he has a kind of, good persona when it comes to his communication. I just think he's just the person of who he is. And I think that has also drawn so many, things to him. Thus says the Lord. Okay.
Nicotis with Mr. Volpi, we were aware of his progress, his steady progress, and his relationship with the late General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua.
His Excellency has to be somebody I realize that is one of the most destabilized Nigerians I've ever met in my life. I had the privilege of serving under him.
Okay.
As his assistant at the Murtala Mohammed Airport.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was the era of drug trafficking. He's somebody who is very astute in administration. I learned a lot from him, and when I took over from him as the area controller, I just continued what he has laid down.
As a young officer then, he was an acting assistant controller. But then he was area administrator of Apapa, and Apapa is a premium port. You don't give it to an idiot.
Don't give it to an idiot, but it could also be straight fine. Baba is the leader winning. I have some pro-Atiku guys in the comment. Okay. And we have some anti-Atiku. Well, I'll let you guys dig it. I'm not a fan though. I just want to put it out there. But this is a newly released, I would say more like a documentary about him. Okay, so that's just what we're
an assistant controller. I'm probably one of the youngest officers that commanded Apapa. And most of the traders were Igbos. Oji Kalo, Nana Kalo, all the Kalos and co.
And Peter Obi. Hi, Soji, welcome back.
At that time, area administrators are very powerful. He helped them in trade facilitation.
Yeah. Political prostitute?
He never seized goods, except if they are prohibitive. Don't forget.
So if he's been an entrenched member of the port staff, can we say today that because of the work he did, that the Nigerian Port Authority is better off for it? I'm just saying. It's a question. I'm not taking away from what he did as a port official. I'm just saying, what a view. What can we gain from what he did? Again, the same thing I ask people, because people come here to say, oh, why do I criticize Obasanjo? Is an elder statesman. I'm saying Obasanjo was in charge of the country for 8 years. Can we say Nigeria today, based on where it is, actually went through Obasanjo and is where it is as a result of him? That's just the question.
The issue of the 53 suitcases.
Okay.
Was the courageous nature of Atiku at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. That was when they brought in 53 suitcases of some contraband. And he impounded them. Everybody was worried, said, oh, where is this 53? Who is behind the 53 suitcases? And fingers were being pointed at the government. But Atiku professionally did his job.
For those of you who don't know about the 53 suitcases, that was the point where I think someone was kidnapped during the Buhari's, administration then. And then they were able to get, some fraudulent stuff from them.
And impounded those 53 suitcases. It was very historic at that time. and people thought that heavens will fall. No, he stood his ground. And those 53 suitcases were impounded. So as a customs officer, he was very professional.
When I was in a big bank, he was a customer at the Tafawa Balewa Square. Thereafter, I met him personally and we became friends in 1986 when he applied for a facility which he used well for agriculture that period. I had to go and visit them in Eula with an analyst from the bank. And
just to give you some context with respect to the 53 suitcases, so I just asked here, okay, what was it? Okay, so Atiku was a custom chief who demanded inspection, nearly sacked for exposing it. So again, that's a kudos to him, right? The military head of state then was Muhammadu Buhari, and he later deflected the blame to Atiku. Yeah, typical Buhari. Major Mustafa Jokolo, Buhari's ADC, then led soldiers to bypass custom, suitcases tied to his father, Emir. Oronlakpe Sholeye, the finance minister, saved Atiku's job at the time. On Kuba Adeoyojo or whatever, journalist who published the expose later wrote Atiku's biography. So that's just the story about the 53 suitcases. I think that stood out. The 53 suitcases refers to a notorious scandal from the 1984 during Nigerian military regime under Buhari. You understand? It involves an attempt to bypass custom check at MMIA Lagos for 53 suitcases reportedly filled with foreign currency amidst a national currency redesign and border closure aimed at curbing smuggling and hoarding. Atiku, then a young custom officer, area controller at MMIA, played a central role in trying to enforce the rule and impound them, but was overruled by military personnel. The story had resurfaced multiple times in Nigerian politics, especially during Atiku's presidential bid against Buhari in 2019. So we see that. Let's just continue.
Then we had to see what we were going to lend money to, and it made it possible for us.
Yeah, I'm Nigeria, but let's just pray. Okay, the light must prevail over darkness. Yeah, I mean, that's the prayer. That's a good prayer. Put note.
In 1987, on the second anniversary of his coup, President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, more popular as IBB, announced the setting up of a constituent assembly to debate and adopt a new constitution for the country. He also announced the creation of the National Electoral Commission, NEC. In May 1989, a month after Atiku Abubakar formally left the services of the customs to face the life of business and politics, the Babangida administration lifted the ban on party politics. The military president, as he then was, also announced a revised transition timetable that would lead to the installation of an elected civilian government. Following the announcement by the IBB administration, General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua and his political associates unveiled the People's Front of Nigeria.
Okay.
The People's Front of Nigeria would later work with the Social Democratic Party, SDP, at the next general election. By 1992, Atiku faced an uphill task as a candidate for the presidency of Nigeria. He was pitched against formidable opponents in Babagana King KEBBI and Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, a wealthy businessman from the southwest region. To many observers of the evolution of Nigeria's political
It's too
history,
ambitious, right?
it was a political mystery
you're right.
as to why Yar'Adua would prefer Chief MKO Abiola to Atiku Abubakar, a member of his political family. However, General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua believed Abiola offered the best hope to end military rule in Nigeria because, having been disqualified twice, Yar'Adua believed Babangida would cancel the result of the election if a northern politician emerged the winner.
Well, why would they do that? Why would they cancel if a northern person emerged? The old 1993 stuff it still boggles the mind.
Yar'Adua's argument was persuasive. His group met with Abiola. An agreement was reached. Atiku Abubakar was asked to step down to pave the way for Chief MQ Abiola's emergence.
So that will be the first time, I would say in his history of politics that he was told to step down. Professor of Geontology. That was the first time. Okay. 1993, and the guy has either been stepping down or has been defeated since then. But again, that was the beginning. So this is what PDP guys owed in honor to Atiku, saying that he's been all the time, been the one that have always been considerate of other people. You may agree with that, you may not agree with that, but again, his PDP fans are always saying that this guy has sacrificed a lot for Nigerian political stability, because he stepped down in 1993. He stepped down for every time a new thing happens, there's always a Yoruba man that will come in. Although in 2015 he had to, Buhari won the primaries, but he's always stepping down. And that's where we are today.
Ever thinking of the good of Nigerians, Atiku was willing to make personal sacrifices to end military rule in the country. For this, he could not afford to disrespect his political godfather, Yar'Adua. No doubt, some of his supporters were disappointed.
It's too old to run.
They felt he stood a better chance of winning the election, and that there was no need for him to step down for Abiola. Abiola won the SDP presidential ticket by defeating his rival, Babagana Kingibe. At the same time, the little-known Bashir Tofa emerged as the National Republican Convention NRC standard-bearer.
We were, myself, Okadibo, Yaya Kwande, the late Chike Chibwe, were angry. When he told us that Shehu Yar'Adua had spoken that he should step down, we refused. We said, let's go and meet Shehu. Let's go for the runoff, because there were only 3 of them. And we were already negotiating, trying to make alliances, build bridges, so that he will win. But all of a sudden, Shehu told him to step down for MKO for one simple reason.
It doesn't have the trait of Yar'Adua. One of these days, I'm going to even try to at least look at the documentary of Yar'Adua.
He said, Turaki, if you win and the military annul the election, the northern elites will tell you, just don't worry, it is the Lord who gives power and the Lord who takes, and the military will continue. He said, but if Abiola wins and the military annul, he said,
they will kill him. If Abiola wins and the military annuls, they will unalive him. That's where we are.
The Southwest will rise, and that will be the end of the military. And that's exactly what happened. So, to that extent, Yar'Adua was a prophetic politician.
The Yar'Adua group waited anxiously for the formal announcement of Atiku as running mate to Abiola as earlier agreed, but that was not to be. Abiola named Kingibe instead.
Atiku was a serious contender. For him to rub shoulders with the likes of MKO that time was not something that anybody could just take it for granted, And from all the permutations, at a point in time, he was a serious threat to MKO Abiola. And it was option A for some of us that believed that he should have continued the race.
Yeah.
You know, it was a painful decision. I was very young that time. We're all looking on to him to be the president.
Yeah, I want to appeal, thanks for joining the show. I would love you to help this show. If you've not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Thanks for those that has been engaging. I will continue with the story of Atiku Abubakar. We're just looking at his life, the story. This is a new, I would say, documentary on Atiku, Obasanjo, MKO, and Abiola, and the betrayals. So now it was denied the VP, and I don't know, I think it was because of the Christian-Muslim thing. Let's see, because I know that Abiola also had this story around him. I don't know if it's true or false, that he was kind of, against Christianity at some point. I don't know if that's true.
Would have embarked on a vengeful mission to derail the SDP, but instead, he saw beyond the hurt of rejection. He was more concerned with the success of the party. Knowing how deeply upset Yaradua was.
Hi, Hamino, welcome to the show. Thanks for subscribing.
He could not persuade his boss to support Abiola again. He was close enough to know that former military ruler Chief Olusegun Obasanjo was one person Yaradua could not refuse. Atiku traveled to see Obasanjo at his Ota farm. He begged the former head of state to appeal to Yaradua to back Chief MKO Abiola. Atiku believed that the Yaradua group needed to work closely with Abiola to get Babangida out of office and the military back to the barracks for the good of the country.
Okay.
Chief Obasanjo was impressed with Atiku's selflessness and patriotism. There was a man who had been rejected by Abiola, yet he still wanted to assist him in winning the election.
That makes him a good man.
Genuinely remarkable that Atiku had such a forgiving heart. That was leadership and a unique trait of humility and patriotic zeal on the part of Atiku Abubakar.
And I must agree with that. I must really agree with that, because seriously, if it was me, because I don't know, if it was me that actually, I took Peter Obi, as someone that was looking for a political party. We've heard a lot of stories, how Reno also came out to say that, he was the one that helped Peter Obi build his image in the run-up towards him being the vice running mate for Atiku. If it was me that I took Obi out, made him my national, gave him the national platform, made him my VP, and then when I needed him most, he left me to go run his own thing. I don't know. But it seems that Atiku has just shrugged it off and willing to work with him. But I'm not sure Obi wants to work with Atiku though, based on what is happening right now. He called him and his ilks the structure of criminality. But again, I digress. Let's continue.
He promised to speak to his former deputy Yaradua. Atiku and the Yaradua group went on to campaign for Abiola in their respective states.
I have a lot of Atiku fans here.
Also made a massive contribution to Chief MKO Abiola's campaign funding. Nigeria was on edge until June 8, 1998, when General Sani Abacha died. The successive government opted for a new transition program, which would lead to the inauguration of an elected civilian government by May 29, 1999. General Abdulsalami Abubakar, who called the shots, began a short, intensive, but realistic
welcome to the show.
To civil rule. With another transition program unveiled, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar joined the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in 1998 and returned to Adamawa in pursuit of his long-time dream of governing the state.
Okay.
The January 9, 1999 governorship election was a close race. Atiku Abubakar was declared winner in a keenly contested election against his All People's Party APP opponent, Bala Takaya. On November
Abacha was the one that I would say like gave us to the extreme end of what dictatorship could do. Most of the people shouting now for military intervention don't even have any idea what people went through. What can I say? The politicians that we have today have also been they've also been disappointing. So who am I to blame them?
To 1998, Obasanjo formally declared his intention to seek nomination to contest for the presidency on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP.
When we came to this current dispensation that started in 1998, he contested as the governorship candidate with Boni Haruna as his deputy in Adamawa State. He won election. But because of his track record of being a realistic and practical Democrat, the leadership of the team Obasanjo, you know, the team Obasanjo at that time had those generals that you can refer to as legitimizers. They wanted somebody who was level-headed, who was a core Democrat, so as to support a military man like Obasanjo to navigate the challenges of that time.
Okay.
And they all settled for Atiku Abubakar.
Atiku's strength has always been his capacity to mobilize human and material resources for the success of any given task. He brought his friends and fellow Yaradua group members into the Obasanjo presidential campaign. He got former Senate President Iyorchia Ayu as campaign coordinator.
Welcome to the show. Hi, King.
It was Atiku Abubakar who also recruited Chief Tony Aneni as the South-South coordinator of the campaign.
Okay. In 1999, I remember clearly that it was Atiku Abubakar who made sure he got all his friends, I don't want to mention names, to put down the money.
Yeah, that story is true. I mean, he was one of the main financiers of the PDP at the time in 1999. And I think that's why the guy feels like, you know what, it's his birthright to be. Hi, welcome to the show, Pascal. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. It's the fact that he founded, you know, at the outset to be a pioneering member of PDP. The same thing also, I think Babangida put in a lot of money. And they just brought Obasanjo from prison. And I keep saying it, people would always disagree with me that Obasanjo, even though despite that condition and the surrounding stuff, he had one of the best opportunity to put this country on the map, real map. He had the best opportunity to make us something that, you know, you can say, oh, wow. Maybe not a Dubai, but close to it. But where we are today, and these people, they've passed through this country.
For part of our campaign. He himself had a deep pocket. Because
of course,
he's an entrepreneur.
Custom money,
he was already an entrepreneur by the time we came on board.
Okay.
When Obasanjo came out from prison, a few of us, myself, Ibeto, Chika Okafo, Sunday Afolabi,
thanks for the follow,
and Atiku Abubakar contributed money and donated to his account.
Okay.
Because at that time he had no money. And part of the discussion was that, yeah, well, one thing you must give Obasanjo, he has brilliant ideas. The only thing is
I agree.
He's a leader with a small mind.
What? What?
He can chase you for the sin of your grandfather.
Okay. Now we saw that happen just a few weeks ago. few days ago rather, with Fayose. I mean, the fight of the early 2000s, they still actually went to talk about it at this guy's 65th birthday ceremony. And Fayose was not going to have it and came back swinging. Okay? I mean, that's who Obasanjo is. They say he doesn't forgive. They say he doesn't forgive. And if you find yourself in the camp of his political enemies, God help you. Because I remembered this guy, Adenuga, one of the richest guy in Nigeria, was kind of loyal to Atiku. They've always had, there's always this argument that who owns Glow? Is he Babangida? Is he Atiku? Or is he Mike Adenuga? Well, that's not the center of discussion today. Atiku and Adenuga was always seen as loyal to Atiku. Just one afternoon, EFCC went to his office to drag the guy. That's who this guy is. Went to drag Adenuga. I'm telling you, it got so bad that Adenuga had to relocate out of the country and was running his business from Ghana until Obasanjo left. So again, elder statesman, yeah, I did some good things. Bank consolidation, pension reforms. What else? Did some health insurance stuff. But certain things that matters was not done. Election reforms, electricity, it wasn't done. And we're paying dearly for it.
And he told us his dream about Nigeria. Making it a Singapore of West Africa.
Okay.
So we all bought into it, which was why a few of us contributed initially. For his empowerment.
Okay.
Of course, in 2003, it
Story
became
changed.
Another story.
Story changed, bro.
And that is when I know that power corrupts.
Absolutely.
And absolute power,
yeah,
if unchecked,
yeah,
corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
The Nigeria which Obasanjo and Atiku inherited on May 29, 1999, was a weak and deeply divided nation on the brink of collapse. All over the country, there existed an...
Is there any election cycle that Nigeria is not on the brink of collapse? Okay, 99 was at the brink of collapse. He came in, did some, stabilized the country. I would give that to him. Hi, Michael, welcome to the show. And then what else happened again? 2015, again, we're back to it. Jonathan and his people, treasury drained. That's why the fact that we had one of the highest price of oil. We're not even close to the price of oil, crude oil, that we had during Jonathan's tenure. We had the 2008 crisis, right? When all of these global companies moved out of Nigeria because of, they had to fly to safety because of what was happening globally. Nigeria never recovered. And I will tell you, you may not like TINUBU, the Nigerian Stock Exchange that we have today, okay, this is the first time that we've seen a major recovery that has been sustainable. Even though when Trump did that tweet about his coming to Nigeria to, gun blazing and all of those tweets, the Nigerian market has started falling again. But I'm just saying. Now, has there been any time when Nigeria is not in the BRICS? It was Abacha stuff during Abacha years. It was the killing of politicians during Abacha years. It was Obasanjo coming in, and then we had Yaradua. Then we started having the cabals. We started having the oil subsidy scam that now got scaled to an enormous level, which is crazy. That is where we are. Now again, we are still at the BRICS. May God help us.
Army of idle, angry, and demoralized people. These political and economic problems had heightened ethnic restiveness and religious fundamentalism, leaving Nigeria constantly under the threat of disintegration.
Wow. We got into Abuja, government was being formed. There was need for accommodation of people at various levels, ministers, special advisors, and there were, defined quotas. So, Atiku now advised Mr. President, Excellency, let me
profile solution for us to make sure we can bring in our people who work for us. We already have special advisors. We can also have senior special assistants to the president who are at par with special advisors, since the special advisors themselves are also at par with ministers of the Federal Republic.
Okay.
Your Excellency, you can now exercise, your width and
discretion,
latitude to appoint as many people as you can. Obasanjo more or less breathed a sigh of relief because he was not able to bring in these people. So, what you take away from that, therefore, is that we have an Atiku Abubakar who is a problem solver. In the days preceding, the altercations between Atiku and his principal at the time, I've been at meetings where, Obasanjo congratulated and commended Atiku for helping to, douse situations, calm situations. He brings that to bear, into his style.
Atiku was very fortunate because President Obasanjo had actually given him substantial authority over the management of Nigeria's economy at the time. There was extensive deregulation, liberalization, and privatization of public enterprises in this country. These enterprises then became very, very efficient. They were diversified, they were expanded in scope, and they became very, very successful and contributed to employment and national income. There was a pension act that was introduced that brought about the Nigerian Pension Commission. And in addition to that, there were major capital market reforms as well, both in the Securities and Exchange Commission and also the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We were able at that time to set up institutions such as the ICPC and the EFCC. So in a nutshell, what we are talking about is that on his own watch and that of his boss, they were able to engineer policies that was going to change the face and character of Nigerian society.
Okay.
And the results were outstanding.
Before the advent of the Fourth Republic, Atiku and Obasanjo's paths had crossed thrice: in Maiduguri during Obasanjo's visit as head of state to Atiku's Customs Command in 1978, in Ota, 1993, when Atiku sought Obasanjo's help in getting Yaradua to support Abiola to win the June 12 election, and in 1995, when Atiku went to Obasanjo's farm to warn him about his impending arrest by Abacha security agents over trumped-up charges of plotting a coup. These encounters were brief and instructive. However, it was only after Obasanjo joined the presidential race that the two men began to relate closely.
Yeah, as the vice, right?
He was supposed to be the governor of Adamawa State. And fortunately, before we were sworn in, he was sworn in as the VP instead of governor of Adamawa State. So we worked very closely with him throughout the 8 years in office. He was in office for 8 years as the VP, and we were in office for 8 years as governors. Our relationship was very cordial, very beautiful relationship. He was quite a nice fellow. He wasn't an overbearing boss. One thing you like about him is that the Waziri of Adamawa himself is a very, very detribalized Nigerian. If you go to his office, if you went to his office that time, the staff it was like a mini Nigeria because the staff in his office were from all parts of the country.
Yeah, and the guy shares money. Shares money a lot.
From the north, everywhere, from the east.
In the hand of an uncooperative, difficult, and selfish president, The 1999 Constitution could render a vice president powerless, redundant, and frustrated.
They're always powerless, right? Even look at when Buhari was sick. The first time he was sick, he handed over power to, what's it called again? Oshibajo. And then the guy started making moves. The next time he was sick, they said, no, we're not giving you power. And they rendered him very, very ineffective and useless. Abba Kyari in Buhari's government was way, way more powerful than Oshibajo. That's how ridiculous the vice president, again, the vice president serves at the honor of the president, actually, which is what it is. Thanks everyone for joining the show. I'll like if you could like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.
Atiku clearly understood the limitations of his new office. He understood that in the corridors of power, it could be political suicide for a deputy to be perceived as trying to upstage his boss.
There was some misunderstanding between him and the president then. And I remember we had the president made his declaration at the International Conference Center of his intention to contest for a second tenure. And in all the speech he made, he never mentioned Atiku, and the people read meanings into it. And I think that was the beginning of their little misunderstanding. Some governors took sides.
Is that not what is happening with Shettima today?
Some were on the side of
Atiku, former governor of Imo State.
But I think the majority was more in favor of Atiku at the time that crisis was on.
Yeah, so that was actually the genesis of the whole problem between Obasanjo and Atiku. I don't know, because I learned that Atiku made moves to prevent Obasanjo from having a second term, from becoming the president the second time. And then he made moves. And that was where the whole battle started. That was where the line was drawn.
Atiku Abubakar has been serially misunderstood and misrepresented by sheer malice and orchestrated character assassination by his former principal. So much dirt has been thrown at him on the score of alleged corruption by people who rarely know him. Ironically, each time such allegations came up, Atiku put himself up for investigation. Several times, he has been interrogated by all the government's anti-corruption agencies, including the ICPC and EFCC, and he has always come out clean.
EFCC, IPCPC, or whatever they're called, has always come out clean. Okay, so what do we talk about the report that is being filed at the United States Congress with respect to a lot of corruption escapade? Let me see if I can get that for you. Let's go.
For instance, somebody accused him the other day that he approved the sale of Ajaokuta steel rolling mills and was trying to draw a comparison. The project was frittered for $120,000 and Nigerian government has to repurchase it for $460. Nothing can be more, damaging and more criminal, especially for somebody who didn't know the head or tail of the issue. Indeed, under his guidance, the Council on Privatization advised against the sale. But don't forget that there was a full government department, the Bureau of Public Enterprises, then led by Nasiru El-Rufai, which took the final decisions on what went and what didn't go. We need to get this very clear because unfortunately the man has suffered, drawn a lot of flack, actually wrongly, and offensively, unfairly as well, for people who don't understand, the nitty-gritty of what happened,
Oh, really?
We need to get it.
Final Destiny. Welcome to the show.
Very clear. So much debt was thrown at him, by his principal at the time, and agents of his principal.
Okay.
Because Atiku Abubakar dared to challenge legally his boss over his bid for a third term.
I went to Obasanjo.
The third term stuff of Obasanjo will be one of these stories that would never go away. They still asked him about the third term agenda this year. Now, when he goes on TV, nobody's even asking him, what were the reforms you did? What were the achievements? How did you turn Nigeria to a mini Singapore? How did you make Nigeria this El Dorado that you had a vision of in 1999? The question they usually ask Obasanjo is, what do you know about the third term agenda? And he always comes out and says, I don't know anything about the third term agenda. Please don't nail me. Again, it's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. I'm not taking away from his wins, but we all know that it could have been better than this. It could have been better than this.
2019, after Atiku got primaries, to literally thank him. And I said, and I stayed in his hotel. You know, I was his guest, stayed in his hotel. We had breakfast.
I'm being sponsored by who? Like, let me know. Like, who is sponsoring me? I would love to. I mean, if they can cut me some checks, you know, yeah. I mean, if I'm just here, just telling you what I think, and you're saying I'm being sponsored, then maybe you should link me to the people that you think that are sponsoring me. It's not going to be a bad thing. I'm going to come here and tell you guys. I cut in another check because that's the way most people think, right? People can think on their own. People can say what they feel or what they think. Even if they're wrong, they can't. Then someone just come in and tell me I'm being sponsored. Thanks a lot. It's a compliment.
And I stayed a day. And I said, sir, we're all in the system with you. I knew you were really angry with my principal. I am happy as a Christian that you have forgiven him. And I am happy that you are towing the line of a statesman.
Hi, Jordan. Welcome back.
Is this for real? What happened? Knowing how I knew the level of animosity, the level of quarrel, that today you are the one that is saying that you are supporting Atiku to be president. I say, what happened? You say, well, that is it. And he said, the international community, they are buying into this. They are buying into this. And I now asked him, what really was the problem? There's this issue of corruption. What is this? What is the problem? Do you know that Obasanjo could not tell me one single incident of corruption?
Okay.
PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, I called them. I said, look, I want you to advise us on how we can provide sufficient power for Nigeria before we leave office. And they went around this country and produced a report which, convinced me that we could provide enough power supply to this country before leaving office by 2000. We left office 2007, right? By 2005, 2 years before leaving office, would have provided, enough electricity in this country. I tried to push it through with the president to get his approval, but he was more inclined to power supply by gas. And I told him that
I don't care if he wants power supply by gas or power supply by coal or power supply by hydro, dams and all of those. I don't care. I care about the result. And unfortunately, your administration with Obasanjo failed in that regards. Because even then, TINUBU then was even trying, to even do some alternative stuff in Lagos, but it was also hindered then as a governor. And this is where we are. Yeah, and he was a main importer of generator. He was a main importer of generator. Just get the power source. Exactly. And that's one of the things I felt like, you know what, even though there are supporters of Obasanjo that said he did a lot of good things, you know, that administration could have done much more and could have actually put us in a better, you know, in a better state. And that is why we are fighting the battles that we're fighting today. Because strategically, we're kind of kneecapped. And that's painful. That's painful that today, 2025, starting from 1999, Nigeria is just... Anyways, let me just continue.
It was from based on advice I got from many of the oil companies. It was going to take not less than 7 to 10 years, you know, but he insisted on that. And that's why he set up the power committee and made me the chairman. And I declined to actually participate as a chairman, and I left to the Minister of Power then, who was the deputy chairman of the committee, to handle that. And that was how we ended up in this, you know, chaotic situation today.
With
yeah, it's a real shame. It's a real shame.
In the latter years of the Obasanjo administration, if there is anything to be pinned on him, he would have been jailed. There's no question about that, because from all indications, they were looking for what to pin on him, and nobody could see anything.
Oh, they were looking for what to pin on him? Oh, really? So what about this? Now, I don't know, because this is alleged stuff, right? The United States Congress did put some allegation of corruption against Atiku. So how do we explain this? Money laundering via offshore shell company, $40 million, right? Over $40 million. Bribery payment from Siemens AG, $2 million, 2001 to 2002. Okay. Bribery scheme with Rep. William Jefferson. Another one, 500. Okay, that's chop change. PTDF fund diversion linked to product probe, 145 million. So again, I'm not saying that he is guilty, okay? But I'm just saying that, what about this? What about this? So, I mean, I don't think he would have been jailed as a vice president. Obasanjo wouldn't have been able to do that. No matter what. Number one, the North would have been so much angry with him. Number two, also, he was serving as a vice president. So I think there is a level of immunity that covers him. So he wouldn't have been jailed.
Talking about corruption, you know, and I think even in the service, when we work together in customs, oh, they say customs is corrupt, but you can't say that of him. In terms of, you know, he was doing the work as it should be done.
Akin Kekere-Ekun is one of Nigeria's finest financial and project managers.
Now, they love to keep people surprised.
He served as chairman of the technical committee of the National Council for Privatization, NCP, while Malam Nasser El-Rufai was Director General of the Bureau for Public Enterprises, BPE. Both men were close to the former vice president. In the course of the privatization of some government-run organizations,
people don't like to hear the truth. When someone decides to speak it, they say you're being sponsored. Well, we just ignore. Just ignore and move on.
He had a relationship with the Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprise. He also had a relationship with people like us who are external members of the council.
Okay.
There was a particular incident where a gentleman wanted to pay for his interest in a particular bid, and the deadline has been over, and the DG at that time felt that we shouldn't take the money. But he spoke to me and he said I should speak to the vice president. I did. And at that time, he just once I told him the implication of our taking the money, he agreed with us that we should not take the money, and we did not take the money. That's the kind of person he is.
Wow. Okay.
Professor Sylvester Monya was the special advisor on performance, monitoring, and evaluation to President Goodluck Jonathan. He believed that the lack of understanding of what privatization entails had led many Nigerians to misconstrue privatization to be the same thing as selling public assets or stripping a country of its assets.
You will recall that when GSM was introduced, they were made the bidders for the GSM license were made to pay about $200 million each.
Yeah,
for their license.
And that was what I think Adenuga lost the first one and lost a lot of money then because it wasn't given despite the fact that he paid.
Sense to be able to operate. Then we had Econet and MTN, if you remember. So they paid $200 million plus the setup costs and everything. And their projection was that they will make profit in maybe 5 years. As you and I know today, they made profit in less than
6 months. Yeah, 6 months. Yeah, I remembered. Yeah.
Now, our NITEL, because they were a federal government entity, they were given GSM license free of charge. Free of charge. Where is NITEL? Where is their license today?
You can say the same thing about the refineries. They sold it, they stopped the sale, they did this and all that. They said it's now back to operating. That's the refinery for NNPC, the Nigeria-owned refinery. Now, you may not agree with the way and manner, possibly that they supported Dangote in having his refinery, because I remembered that at some point, nobody could get foreign exchange currency except Dangote. And Dangote also was being subsidized because they had to give him at a very, very ridiculous, very low rate. You may not support all of that, but still, it's been the one that has been able to even bring something close to a well-functioning refinery, making it the third in the world, and they have the plan to make it the biggest in the world. You may not like Dangote, you may not agree with the bourgeoisie system that we operate in Nigeria, but the government is good at something, just wasting money and lack of efficiency. Everywhere in the world, not just Nigeria, everywhere in the world. So that's it. And again, there's also a story yesterday, if you check online, that Dangote said that they've tried 22 times to sabotage the Dangote refineries, that they will just start fires, or they will just manipulate some of the futures and bring out bad fuel. But they have a very sophisticated system that kinds of dictate all of those saboteurs. That's why I was mad with Pengerson. Again, another story. I don't want to go into that today.
It's what we're talking about. So when you hear that an Atiku presidency is pro-private sector, he is not saying it because he has friends in the private sector. Obviously, he has friends in the private sector, but that's not the objective. The objective is delivery of superior results.
Hi, Hopi, welcome.
I used to say in the civil service, my people. Oh, my people. Mr. President, my people have asked me to vote no on tenure extension.
Many undiscerning Nigerians did not know that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, as a Democrat, was at the forefront of the fight.
Yeah, they shouldn't do too much.
The third term
government shouldn't do too much
of President Olusegun Obasanjo. He was, in fact, the field marshal of the anti-third term movement. It is believed that his role in the collapse of the well-funded project earned him the wrath of Chief Obasanjo.
Those in support of the motion that the bill be now read a second time say aye. Aye. Contrary? Contrary has it. So, by this result, the Senate has said clearly and eloquently that we discontinue further processes on this amendment bill.
I don't think anybody can speak of that anti-totem struggle in the Senate over and beyond my humble self.
Okay, I want to hear this.
So it was the Vice President Atiku Abubakar who marshaled the other governors.
Yeah, they have to follow laws.
From
Yeah, I agree.
James
I agree.
To TINUBU, to Ojikalu, to Bafarawa, Kure, and then Co.
This was someone that was taken out of prison to come to Nigeria to become the president. And he got there, he did the first term, he did the second term, and he was ultimately looking for a third term. He has denied it though, but we all know how this thing works. They set it up so that the plausible deniability is ensured. That's how it works. So today you would never see anything linking third-term agenda to Obasanjo. But as you and I know, welcome to the show, Adenio. As you and I know, all of these things are being carried out by their archmen.
And then we held a meeting at the Niger State Governor's Lodge, where he himself, Atiku Abubakar, came there physically and addressed us, the National Assembly, both Senate and House of Reps. Said, we must not allow this to succeed.
Wow.
It will derail our democracy. Before the final slaying of that third-term effort on the 16th of May, 2006. So you can see his democratic credentials.
Congratulations, Your Excellency, for your incredible passion, your dedication, and commitment to building the future generations. You're helpers of other people's destinies.
A man gifted with sporting talent. The story is told of how Atiku...
Tinubu won't look for third term, but he most likely will install his men in power forever. I cannot deny that. I cannot deny that. I cannot deny that. Yeah, Femi Adesina is a great guy. I need to step out now. I would love if you could subscribe to this channel. Like, thanks for your comment. I really appreciate that. I would love to, just spend some more time to finish this. It's 20 minutes more, but I need to go. If you're interested in in watching it, I think it's on Symphony. At least there you won't have my comments, so you'll be fine, right? I'm trying to put a link in the chat. That's where you can actually watch it, the full thing, if you're interested though. That's it. Atiku Abubakar is running, and he's going to be running in 2027. I mean, that's clear as of date. I'll come finish it later today in the evening, and then we can take it from there. There's still a lot that I want to discuss. Looking at the security situation, I made some discovery with respect to the areas where you have all these crises and what Nigeria has lost in terms of revenue from the illegal mining. So Grok, a tool on X2, says we're losing $9 billion every year. Every year. And it's quite interesting because this money should be going to the whole country. So maybe there are some people in Nigeria that are much more richer than Dangote, we don't know. But if you're making $9 billion as a whole from illegal mining activities every year, then you know that there's a big problem. I'm going to go now. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. If you've not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button as we grow this towards the 2027 election. I will be here, we'll be watching.